straight winning. Utah's now at the 8th spot in the NBA draft. Let's talk about this game and what's next for the Utah Jazz, the Hoops Nerd Show. All right, guys, before we get into this, let's just give a shout out to our sponsor, Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com, use promo code HoopsNerd. They will match up to $100. Go put some money down on somebody. Right now, if you do the unders, actually, you're going to do pretty well with this Utah Jazz team because they are switching people out. They are hoping to lose games. It's very likely we see Lauri Markkanen in another game here soon. I would put the over on the points because he's going to be well rested. Anyways, go to prizepicks.com. It's free money. Use promo code HoopsNerd. They will match up to $100. It supports the channel. And if you're here watching, you're incredible. You might have already done it. But if you haven't, go check it out. It's a lot of fun. All right, let's see. Before I get into this, this one's a little late because, and I met Matt at Walmart tonight. He met me. I told my wife what we do with Easter with my kids. We actually do it the Saturday before Sunday because Sunday we try to keep it religious. But anyways, happy Good Friday to everyone out there. But anyways, I went to Walmart, go get some chocolate bunnies, because I wanted a chocolate bunny. Walmart closes at 11 o'clock. I wanted my own Easter basket. And so I went and got my own Easter basket. You know what my Easter basket contains? My Easter basket contains a chocolate bunny, because I wanted one. I get the new limited edition Oreos. Those of you who follow me on Twitter know that I'm a big fan of the churro Oreos and Philly cheesesteak Pringles. That's what I chose. I'm going to be sick. I'm going to feel terrible, but I'm going to enjoy it. And if you're watching tonight, you're one of the best. And if you're still watching after learning about what I want to eat tomorrow for my, Easter celebration, at least my Easter bunny celebration, my commercial Easter, then you're great. Anyways, I ran into Matt. Shout out to Matt to come say hi. By the way, if you ever see me at the store, come say hi. Because guess what? I love talking about the Jazz. And if you love the Hoops Nerd channel, that means that we're immediately friends. So come talk to me and say hi. Never worry about it. I don't care. I'm not anything special. So come talk to me and say hi. I love meeting people, and it makes me feel good that people like my channel. So come say hi. But anyways, Matt was talking to me. I tried to spread the good word of Cooper Flagg. I tried to spread the good word of Cooper Flagg with him and his really nice family and his kids that look like great kids. And your wife looks amazing. And so I hope you have a great night, Matt. Have a great night. But anyways, we talked about the Jazz. I never know quite how to say anything. But we talked about the Jazz, and honestly, and we talked a little bit about where this Jazz team is going, because they're losing a lot right now, and Matt mentioned that to me, and he's right. It's not that fun right now watching them, but you got to find the little things, and that's what I told Matt. You got to find the little things to enjoy, and tonight the little things were, Collin Sexton had a great night. And honestly, we had a really impressive night from Taylor Hendricks. 2 for 5 from 3, 3 for 7 from the field. Yeah, there are a few moments where, he loses the ball, driving to the basket and things like that. He's got a lot of things to improve on. But he's showed some incredible defense tonight. There were a few plays where he stopped Jalen Green just flat out and at the end of games. And honestly, the Jazz defense kind of centers around him at this point. He is kind of the hub of this Jazz defense from what I'm looking at. He is guarding the best player on the other team, typically. He is also transitioning and going back and weak side shot blocking and things like that. Taylor Hendricks is the silver lining to what is a lot of losing right now for the Jazz. Keontae George and Bryce Sensabaugh can't hit a three to save them right now. They're just in big time rookie slumps. Again, Keontae has had sections of the season where he's been incredible, and then he's had some slumps. And, sometimes that means you have some sort of injury, and sometimes that means you're a rookie trying to figure things out. So it is what it is. But right now, Taylor Hendricks is playing well, and tonight was a big time Taylor Hendricks game with his defense. But anyways, I want to talk a little bit long term just because, talking to Matt made me think about that a little bit as I drove home and was excited about eating my chocolate bunny tomorrow. I'm going to enjoy the heck out of that. Uh, you know, the Jazz could in this offseason, they could go get some guys. They have cap space. Obviously, they're going to re-sign Lauri Markkanen. And if Markkanen played tonight, which was not a coincidence, that I don't if the Jazz wanted Markkanen to play, he would have been able to play. And they probably win tonight. Although there are some instances you got to think the Jazz kind of were in this game because of defense, to be honest. And I'm not sure if you come away from this game saying, "Oh, we have to just absolutely build around Lauri Markkanen." To be honest, like the last time they played, I believe Markkanen played and they got absolutely destroyed. So anyways, next year, and I told Matt, like I was just saying, I hope this is what we do next year. I really do. And I know it's painful. I know there's a lot of fans out there that aren't going to want to watch a lot of losing like this for a long time. And I get it. In the end, sports is about winning. But, basketball is a pretty simple game. And this is one thing I would add on. Basketball's pretty simple when it comes down to it. It comes down to 5 players on the court. I've talked about this a little bit before. If you've never listened to Malcolm Gladwell's podcast where he talks about team building, really good. He talked about soccer and how there's 11 guys and you find out that getting that superstar on your team, like getting Lionel Messi really helps, but it actually statistically probably helps a lot more to just kind of improve, on your worst guy. If you make your worst guy and get someone else that's better, you're probably going to win a lot more games in soccer because there's 11 guys on the field, Same goes for football. I mean, if you have a good quarterback, then really what you're doing is you're just trying to improve the worst guy in a lot of ways, filling gaps, improving, because there's 22 players that play in football, never mind. There was someone who was saying things to me in the comments the other day about who's better athletes, football and basketball. And there's 22 football players on a field at any given time. They only play offense or defense. They stop in between each play. In basketball, guess what? You go from offensive set, you immediately have to run back to stop transition. It's not close, okay? It's not close. Some of the best athletes in the world. They are. They just are. It's incredible what they do. But anyways, the Jazz have a chance to get one of those guys. You have 5 players on. Okay, so anyways, backtrack. In football, soccer, where you have all these players on the field, you're fixing the worst position on the field. You got this one guy this guy is our worst player. If we improve on him, and we can improve on him with not very much money. Let's say we improve the worst 3 players on our team instead of just getting the best player in the league and having just him. With soccer, you're going to win more games that way. If you get like 4 good guys to replace your 4 worst guys, you're going to be a lot better because it matters to have the whole field kind of connected in a game like that. And in football, you have weaknesses. Teams are going to exploit that. So if you improve your 4 or 5 worst positions, like the Green Bay Packers, they had to go get a safety. They went out and got him. They had to get an offensive lineman. They go out and get him. They had a chance to get a better running back. They went and got him. That's what happened. At least I think they got an offensive lineman. I know their good one, he retired or is not on the team anymore. But anyways, in basketball, there's 5 guys on the floor. So the superstar is actually the most important, right? And everything revolves around your superstar, especially on some of these heliocentric offenses in the NBA. Like Nikola Jokic, his usage percentage is top in the league, and rightfully so. His ability to be so consistently unstoppable is incredible. And it's why the Denver Nuggets are going to be insanely difficult to beat, probably going to the finals this year. Because when it comes down to it, in basketball, you've got to put the ball in that guy's hands, right? And we tried to do that with the Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert team. Where did the ball go? The ball goes to Donovan Mitchell. And at the end of games, when the games were close, what happened? It wasn't enough. So when people say, well, what would have happened if Will Hardy was coaching? I think they'd have been better. I think there would have been some good decisions. I think maybe they could have even gotten to like a Western Conference Finals. Maybe. Maybe. I do think that because I think Quinn Snyder was not a good kind of matchup coach in the playoffs. He consistently just got kind of out-coached. There were no, and maybe you could argue the talent wasn't built to do anything but what Quinn did. But then you could argue, well, guess what? Quinn made had a lot of influence with player acquisition and what they did. Okay. So yes, it's actually, they would have been a little better with Will Hardy, but I still don't think that they go to the finals, even with that. And the reason is because in the end, it comes down to that guy. And for Utah, it was Donovan Mitchell. And what has Donovan Mitchell done the last two playoffs? Last year with the Cavs, they get upset in the first round. And it's over. It's out. And the year before with the Dallas Mavericks, he's requesting trades behind closed doors and forcing his way out and not playing hard and not giving a crap about winning a playoff series against Dallas. Gets absolutely embarrassed by Jalen Brunson on Dallas. So I don't think the Jazz were going anywhere. Even if it was Will Hardy, I can put you at rest. If anyone's kind of losing sleep over that, if you're a nerd like me and those things keep you up at night, well, guess what? It's okay. We were not going to win the finals if Will Hardy was our coach instead of Quinn. Man, Bryce Sensabaugh had a really bad night. I'm just looking at the numbers now. In fact, let's bring that up. So anyways, the moral of this is that you've got to have that guy. You've got to have that Jokic. You've got to have that LeBron, Giannis, Kawhi. It goes back. Dirk Nowitzki, Tim Duncan. You've got to have that MVP caliber guy. And like we always say, Utah has not been to the finals since they had an MVP in Karl Malone. And they had an All-NBA in John Stockton, and that was that. It's not that complicated. You have that MVP, you're going to go far. The San Antonio Spurs have their MVP caliber guy now. And Wembanyama is going to take them far eventually. Now, they have not proven that they are able to coach him very well. Like Pop might be washed. And they have no one around him. So, and he is so good. And the weird thing for them that they're going to have to navigate is this is not a very good draft. It is not like a superstar draft, at least. You look at the Spurs right now, they're number 3, but there's not like a clear superstar. I love Stephon Castle. And if we get Stephon Castle, I'm going to be so happy. But I don't know if I actually look at Stephon Castle as anything but like a starting caliber player, which is good. If you get a starter in a draft like this that no one's that excited about, that's great. Starting caliber guy, awesome. But that's kind of what you're getting. And so the Spurs might get like a starting caliber guy, but there's not even a lot of for sure guys in this one. There's a lot of question marks. As much as I like Alexander Sarr, I mean, if the Spurs win the lottery, do they really want kind of like a great value Wembanyama and Alexander Sarr? Zachary Rizachet, I believe that's how you say it. He's also French. That's what's crazy. I don't know what's in the water in France, but man, they are coming out with some athletes and absolute ballers. Unbelievable talent coming out of there. But anyways, Rizachet is 6'9", but he's 18 and he's a little unproven. He may turn into something great. He may not turn into anything at all. So that's going to be tough for them because Wembanyama's only going to get better, and they can only be bad for so long with someone that good. And they're probably going to try to get people in free agency, but they're not a free agency destination. They're just not. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can build enough around him because they have that guy. So anyways, it's got to be the Jazz have got to commit to it. Commit to the bit, okay? Commit to quit. We've got to lose a lot of games next year, and it's got to happen. And you know what? It's the right thing to do. I know it's not going to be fun in terms of winning, but there's going to be moments where it's going to be exciting. You know what you do when you're worried is go watch Duke games next year, because guess what? Cooper Flagg is going to be playing. Malowatch from Africa, he's going to be on Duke. That team is going to be so fun. And Utah has to make some decisions because, man, if they don't have uh what's his name? Markkanen playing, then they're going to be bad enough to get him. And if they get rid of Sexton too, which, I mean, that's the thing that's crazy about this trade deadline is the rumors about Collin Sexton. He was available. Ugh, sorry. Man, oh man, would I like to know what the Jazz. I mean, the rumor for Utah with New York was Quentin Grimes. In fact, let's see, Quentin Grimes. That's what's interesting. I wonder if New York does that trade this offseason. I don't think I'm spelling his name. I want to look up. This is 3 hours ago. Sources from Shams Charania. Detroit Pistons guard Quentin Grimes will miss the rest of the season to rehab lingering muscle soreness related to knee injury suffered in January. No surgery required, and bone bruise in knee has healed. Grimes will be eligible for an extension prior to next season. Actually, okay. Okay. Let's see here. Who's resting right now for Utah tonight? Who didn't play? It's now tinfoil hat time for Jazz fans, okay? Tinfoil hat time. I don't have a tinfoil hat. Let's see. Real quick, let me get my hat. All right. All right, guys. It's now tinfoil hat time. Nerd alert. Nerd alert. We're going to outer space in this one. All right, here we go. So, Detroit Pistons guard Quentin Grimes will miss the rest of the season to rehab lingering muscle soreness related to knee injury suffered in January. He's out for the season. Who's missing games now for the Jazz? The Jazz are now missing. They're missing Jordan Clarkson, who were in rumors together for a potential trade. Jordan Clarkson and Quentin Grimes. Are we seeing a potential? Let's make sure that Quentin Grimes doesn't get an ACL tear or something so that they can trade him to the Jazz. The Jazz can give him a contract. Because look at this. This is crazy. I didn't even think about this, but no surgery required and bone bruise and knee. Grimes will be eligible for an extension prior to next season. Why does Shams Charania say that? They don't normally say that. That's kind of weird. Well, guess what? Guess who has cap space next season? Guess who has cap space? The Utah Jazz do. So they can sign Quentin Grimes, who's had moments with the Knicks, but he doesn't play. And the New York Knicks might be getting a kind of, in their mind, an upgrade in Jordan Clarkson, a proven player. Now, Clarkson's numbers aren't great, but this is an example of what might happen. I think the Jazz might straight up just trade Jordan Clarkson to the Knicks straight up. Because if they're interested in Jordan Clarkson, I think the Jazz, well, we know because we saw reports. I wrote about them. Okay? So, Quentin Grimes to Utah. The question is, will they get picks for him? I'm not sure. All right? Now, if they give that cap space, I wouldn't be surprised, guys, if they do some other things this offseason, because I think the Jazz just right now, I mean, I think Keontae George is going to be a fantastic offensive player. He's really struggling right now. The Jazz might just need to bottom out completely. And so I wasn't able to do the show the other day. I apologize profusely. But one thing I was able to do, if you didn't notice, is that they are tanking for this pick this year. And all year, I have been talking about how the Utah Jazz needed to convey this pick this year because they did not want to lose their swaps in 2 years. We're going full aliens tonight, all right? We're going aliens. That's what we're doing. I think the Jazz are going to tank the next 2 years based off of what we're seeing now, right? Okay, did anyone watch The Bachelor finale the other day? I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but I am an avid Bachelor watcher, Bachelorette, Bachelor in Paradise. I also enjoy Love Island UK. Love Island UK, by the way, better than Love Island USA. Not close. Although skip the first 2 seasons, they are incredibly trash. But I do recommend from like season 3 on of Love Island UK. Love Island UK. Anyways, the person who lost this year in Bachelor had a really great quote. Honestly, it was like tear to my eye. Because in Bachelor, if you don't know, it's a group of men or women that try to win the heart of a bachelor or a bachelorette, depending on what it is. This season, it was The Bachelor, obviously, and it's a group of like 30 women who compete. And eventually it comes down to 2, and he picks one. And that is the winner of The Bachelor, who wins the most Instagram followers of all. But the loser, I actually this was a pretty good season Bachelor because I think the 2 ladies at the end really, truly wanted to be with that guy. But the one who lost made an interesting quote. She said, "If I can love someone, the wrong person, this much, imagine how much I can love the right person." What a line. It's giving me chills just thinking about it. What a line. Well, what does that have to do with the Utah Jazz? Well, imagine if the Jazz value the top 10 pick in this draft, that's not a great draft, this much. Imagine how much they're going to value a pick in the next 2 drafts that are that much better, right? Does that make sense? In a draft like this where there's no clear superstar, there is no Cooper Flagg, there is no Wembanyama, there is no Zion Williamson, there is no Anthony Davis, the Jazz are tanking their brains out. They did not play Lauri Markkanen tonight because the Jazz actually play pretty well at home. So they rest Lauri Markkanen and it ensures the loss. They've now lost 8 in a row. It's on purpose. Imagine how much they're going to be interested in getting a superstar next year. By the way, you got to read the tea leaves. You got to look at what they're doing. When Danny Ainge himself is going to the Las Vegas showcase to watch Cooper Flagg in person, maybe that tells you something, right? Because I'm telling you, there's certain players that they have scouts to go see. They have scouts to go watch Reza Shea. They have scouts to go watch Topic and all these guys across the seas or whatever. But Danny wants to watch Cooper Flagg in person. And I tell you what, that kid is unique. And you know why he's unique? Because there's no comparison for him in the league. There's really not. He's a little of this, he's a little of that. There's just not really anything like him. The best I could really describe Cooper Flagg is, imagine Ben Simmons if he could shoot. That's kind of what I would describe him as. Maybe not quite as fast as Simmons, but probably a better up and down explosive athlete, maybe. I don't know if I'd describe Cooper Flagg as explosive, but he is a good athlete. So he is very Ben Simmons-like. but he might be a little bigger than Ben Simmons, and he can shoot the ball. He's not a lights out shooter, but he's certainly not afraid. If you watch go watch his tape, he shoots that ball, man. And he's not afraid. He actually has kind of a John Stockton release a tiny bit. Wouldn't that be? There, that's how I'm selling this to you guys. He shoots it like John Stockton. Everyone's all in. Or, oh, John Stockton, I'm in. Dang it, I thought I could do that. End the show just like this. No. Oh, look, you can see the light. Oh, creepy. It's like, I'm like those guys in E.T. that come to take the alien. To take E.T. Anyways, I just think the Jazz should be bad next year. Now, maybe this is my wishful thinking, right? Maybe this is just what I want to happen. Because deep down, I mean, we all know you need a superstar. Everyone knows that. We want that. All right, tonight's just a different show altogether. Shout out to Matt at Walmart and your amazing, awesome family. Thank you for coming up and saying hi. You made my night, Matt. I had an interesting comment on Twitter from someone who, I put a thing out there that said, because I've had actually a surprising amount of fans just tell me, like, the Jazz will never win, or the NBA doesn't want the Jazz to get the number 1 pick. They would never let the Jazz do that, or the NBA hates the Jazz. They're just never gonna let them win. That might have been for reals like 20 years, 30 years ago, maybe, and even then, it's like, I think it was just more like there was some gambling stuff going on. But no, the NBA is not going to stop the Jazz from getting the number 1 pick. It's just a fact. There is no way for that to be stolen. So some of these conspiracy theories, by the way, guys, we need less conspiracy theories in this world. We need more just like actual facts. Like go actually do some research from the source, and you'll find out, like, actually, there's no way for that to happen. Go read Zach Lowe's thing about his thing going and watching. I think Tom Haberstroh went and saw it. Multiple people have witnessed the lottery. There is no way for them to cheat. So, anyways, but I had someone mention, like, what I like is I like to get to know the players. I never get to know the players. Well, here's the thing. Lauri Markkanen's been on the Jazz for a year and a half. Like a year and a half. And like that, like, is that, I mean, do you really know Lauri Markkanen? I mean, we know he's a nice guy and the Jazz have done a great job promoting him, but he's been on the Jazz for a year and a half. Do you want to get to know a player on the Jazz? Draft them. You know what'll make you even more, will sell more jerseys to people in Utah is if you do the work to go get a top 5 pick and then he turns out great. Like, everyone who wants to bring up Dante Exum, who, by the way, hit a game winner tonight for the Dallas Mavericks. Go look at how many people loved Darren Williams. That turned out pretty well. Darren Williams was a number 3 overall pick. That turned out pretty good. So I would say that if you do the work next year, or not, by the work, I mean the losing, and you get like Cooper Flag, you're going to sell a lot of Flag jerseys. You get Ace Bailey in the draft next year, you're going to get a lot of Ace Bailey jerseys. And the other thing is they're going to be on the Jazz for a long time. And that's how you get to know them. But this thing where you just kind of like hope and pray that you can just kind of get a few guys in a trade for a couple years and then maybe you win some game. Like, I don't understand why. I just don't understand that mentality. First off, you're not going to be. Why is there? There's a Depends commercial. What is going on? I'm like looking at this guy in his Depends, and I'm like, maybe I'll refresh that. But anyways, The Hoopster channel brought to you by Depends. For when you're going through a losing season and you just can't hold it anymore. Anyways, I just don't understand that mentality. Wouldn't you want to do the work to get a superstar in the draft and have him on your team for a minimum of 7 years? Wouldn't you get to know that player a lot better? And if you've done the work to get a ton of great pieces around him through the draft, then don't you have like multiple players you've gotten to know and enjoy and love? If everything is always just the easy way out or the quick gratification, well, you know what? Quick gratification leads to a lot of long-term sadness. Short-term sacrifice leads to long-term happiness, okay? It really does. But if all you ever do in the NBA and if in life is always just go the easy route and the quick and easy answer, well, guess what? It might get you a little bit of where you want to be, but not where the sacrifice would get you to be. Should the Utah Jazz tank? It depends. Well done, KG10. Well done. So anyways, that's kind of what I wanted to say tonight is, you know, it was a tough night for the Jazz. I don't think you can really take a lot from these games, but there are a few things. Let's just go through it quick. Bryce Sensabaugh is struggling to shoot the ball, and that is his skill. And so I'm not that worried about it. It's just a rookie wall, but he is struggling. For some reason, him and Keontae, they cannot hit a shot. And Keontae's trying. You can tell. Keontae might have had his worst game of the season, and the Jazz nearly won the game. And that tells you everything about the Jazz's defense tonight. It was really good. But Keontae and Bryce are in big-time slumps. Big-time slumps. The good news is we know that was really like their skill set in the draft. So we know that that's what they can do. And next year, they have a full year to also develop. I hope this offseason they both just get in the gym and work on those jumpers and work on the scoring and add elements to your game. Get in that elite physical shape. The thing that gets me excited about Keontae is we already know he has the work ethic to change his body physically. You know, because he was about 25 pounds heavier at 25 pounds heavier at Baylor. He did the work on his own. He did not have a nutritionist. He did not have, you know, any sort of like paid help to lose the weight. He just did it on his own. So the guy has the work ethic, the personal work ethic. That's why I'm not worried at all. You know, now it doesn't mean in 3 or 4 years, if in like 3 years, if he's still, you know, not shooting it at an elite level, then, you know, that would be too bad. And I would be bummed. And I'm sure all Jazz fans would be bummed. But I don't think that's going to be the case. And we just got to have patience. It's just how it goes. Let him develop. But the thing that makes me would be willing to put money on Keontae George getting there is that type of thing. The guy is just super talented, super skilled, and he can just add to it. And we already know he's got like the discipline to work on his body and get an even better elite NBA shape. So if I was Keontae, now is the time I would hire like an off-season trainer. Not that guy that Donovan Mitchell goes to in Miami. That guy is scum. Freaking hate that guy. Screw that guy. I forgot his name. But I've talked to some people and behind the scenes, and man, that guy is bad news. What a joke. But anyways, if Keontae can go get the right trainer and the right type, or maybe like the Jazz can guide him to someone that they really like that can really get him there physically, you know, then that would be amazing. And then on top of that, just skill training. Can we freaking hire Drew Hanlon, by the way? Go get Drew Hanlon, Keontae. In fact, I might tweet Drew Hanlon tonight. I'm going to say, Drew, can you go get Keontae George? I really would love to see Keontae George go with Drew Hanlon, because look at what he's done with Jason Tatum, Joel Embiid. He works with Zach LaVine. Get Drew Hanlon, Key. Go get Drew Hanlon. He will help you out. In fact, the way Keontae's release and kind of his shot does remind me a tiny bit of Jason Tatum. his form, their like release is kind of similar to me. So anyways, I would love to see Keontae go work with someone like Drew Hammond. I already mentioned it tonight, but Taylor Hendricks is the guy you got to be excited about. He played great defense tonight. The Rockets really struggled. I know Jalen Green eventually won this game for the Rockets, but you know what? Jalen Green is turning into the superstar I thought he would be. It just took 3 years. There you go. Sometimes it takes time. So if it took Jalen Green 3 years, can we have a little patience with our rookies? Not saying everyone here doesn't, but it's just a reminder. These guys come into the league so young, and so it just takes a little time. John Collins, a freaking beast. Tonight, 30 points, 11 rebounds. I love John Collins. Fantastic guy to have on the team. You know, he's the top paid player on the team. Probably an overpay contract for sure. People who are on Twitter tweeting to me about his contract and stuff and saying that was a bad trade. Someone was saying that some of the beat writers were talking about it being a trade that the Jazz would undo if they could. And it's like, really? I don't know. I don't think it's really that terrible. And honestly, he plays in a form that allows the Jazz to evolve the way they want to be. I think the Jazz want to have a stretch five. And maybe that's just coincidence, but they did try to go get Kristaps Porzingis before John Collins, so we'll see. Collin Sexton, 44 minutes tonight, 29 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. I didn't realize he played 44 minutes. That's crazy. The Jazz tried to win, at least with Collin Sexton. 5 assists, 6 rebounds. You got to love Collin Sexton. He's fantastic. We already talked about Keontae. He's in a major slump. Still managed to get 6 assists, though, so that's really nice. Chris Dunn, he did not punch Jabari Smith tonight, so that was a win. He also was really efficient from the floor, 5 for 7 from the field, 11 points, 8 rebounds, 1 assist. I love Chris Dunn. That's basically all that we have to say. The guy is awesome, and his defense helped. This Jazz team played great defense tonight. And then Walker Kessler looked pretty solid tonight. I still don't quite know. I don't quite know what to think about Walker Kessler, but you know what? We'll see what happens this offseason. If he's on the Jazz next year, it'll be fun to watch. If not, it'll be understandable because I don't know. But I think that he has a chance to be interesting and can be good for the Jazz. He just has to get some more toughness. That's really all it comes down to with Walker Kessler. That's about it, guys. Thank you for joining the channel tonight. Thank you to everyone who subscribes to the Hoops Nerd channel. If you're a Jazz fan and you haven't subscribed yet, what are you doing? It's time to subscribe. Like the sign says, do it. Make a basket. Boof. Boof. There you go. Anyways, let's give a shout out to our All-Stars tonight. Oh, you know what? I don't have to hear it. I'm just going to play it. Let's see. Let's see here. Crud. We're doing this blind. Well, not blind. I guess deaf where I can't hear it, but that's okay. Because I got my helmet on. Oh, I can kind of hear that. All right, before we give a shout out to our All-Stars, though, we have got to go see what would happen if the draft was today. Guess what? The Utah Jazz, with their loss today, and the Brooklyn Nets beating the Chicago Bulls. This means that, look, Utah is now in the 8th spot. Oh, my goodness. So, and by the way, when the Jazz started the season, remember when they were in the bottom 4? It's crazy. So, they can be there. They just got to do it from the beginning. I can't believe this. The Houston Rockets have won 11 in a row. They are the hottest team in the NBA. Boston's lost 2 in a row. Look at that. Wow. All right, so if the lottery was today with Utah in the 8th spot, what does this mean? And look, they give the edge to Utah, actually. What happens? Utah gets jumped by Brooklyn. No way. No. How did they get her? Let's see. What does that give us? Modest Bucelis. No way. Stephon Castle. All the way, baby. Cody Williams back to 6, huh? It also means Utah could possibly get Ron Holland, who's a nice athlete, but man, that guy struggled to shoot the ball. Let's look at this. He's at 8. The Jazz probably, I mean, it says the Jazz take Jacoby Walter. I'm kind of curious about Ron Holland. Steals is high. Good indicator right there, actually. In fact, per 36 minutes, 2.6 steals. 6'8". I don't know if he is actually a small forward. Maybe he's small forward, power forward. Maybe. I honestly, the way he looked like he could be a shooting guard. The only problem with him was his percentages. Look at that. 24% from 3. He did have 2.9 assists, 3.3 per 36, but interesting. This gives the Jazz Jacoby Walter. Let's see what he has here in terms of his, just from them. Free throw attempt, not great. A lot of minus. I've learned to not pay too much attention to the stats in college, though, because you know what? They made me think Kobe, and I listened to a lot of people who loved Kobe Bumpkin or Buffkin, whatever his name is, Bupkis. It turned out he is a bum. He is a bumkin. Anyways, this is a little disconcerting, but he looks good when he plays. But there's not a lot of burst to him, and look at that, 37% from the field. Eee! Kind of scary. Kind of scary. But he's big enough that he can play he can play shooting guard and be a Baylor backcourt for the Utah Jazz. So that would be interesting. And then guess what? If he turns out to be good and then you get a small forward, Cooper Flag, then that would be pretty fun. But I know I would just say if the Jazz get this spot and Stephon Castle is there, they're taking Stephon Castle. Okay? Just so you know. So let's hope he's there. Because I tell you what, he's someone that jumped out to me months and months ago. I saw like 3 clips and I was like, why isn't this guy top 10? I mean, come on, he's 6'6", a beast. Look at his positives. You look at like Jacoby Walter, there's like 3. Look at this guy. It's all greens. Right? And the minuses are less. So you look at that look at Ron Holland. Less greens. Lots more reds. Stephon Castle, lots of greens, less reds, and they're weaker. So his weaknesses aren't that weak. You go to Jacoby Walter, not even that many greens at all. Lots of red. You go here, woo, very bad defender. Very bad offensive rating, so not good at offense either. So he's bad at defense and he's bad at offense. Let's see. And so then we've got my guy, Stephon Castle. 2-point percentage, offensive rebounds, blocks, rebounds. He doesn't turn the ball over. He's young. Defensive win shares, field goal percentage. Oh my gosh, we went through the music already. Sorry, I had a lot to talk about. All right, let's give a shout out to our All-Stars. Let's give a shout out to Ryan Perry, the legend, the Tim Protector Roebuck, Nathan Butnett Burkhart, Fly Eagles Fly, Platinum Eagles, the real deal, Lars Jarvinen, Just Buckets JB, Baby Elliott Matson, Christian House Money to Haas, The Outlaw, Jesse James Nelson, Ezekiel Raicibe, the man from down under. See ya, Lexa Later, Built Ford Tough, Alexander Tufts, Jorge Arrizaga, mi amigo de abajo, Jordan the Goat Besserell, TGD, Total Game Domination, Tyson Price, The Price is Right, Austin R. Grant, Editor Extraordinaire, KG10 to TH5, Patrick Akubo, the Connoisseur, and Robert Hall of Fame. All right, guys, if you haven't already, like and subscribe to the channel, to the lottery and beyond. It is like Buzz Lightyear. All right, guys, I'll talk to you next time.